Do you know what to look out for when your child is practicing the violin at home? Unless you're an accomplished violinist, your answer will be no. So if your child is holding the violin or bow wrongly, you wouldn't notice, which would leave your child ingraining bad habits deeper and deeper with each violin practice. This is one of the biggest battles for teachers. Whilst they encourage pupils to practice at home, it can lead to poor technique in the long run. So I'm going to show you the 5 top tips to watch out for during violin practice at home. You'll be able to help and correct your child with confidence. Try watching this video together. Avoid the sponge and elastic band. Lots of children start off with this as a makeshift shoulder rest. Bin it. Use a proper violin shoulder rest. It attaches to the back of the violin and rests comfortably on the shoulder. Notice the shape of the shoulder rest. The curve should follow the curve of the shoulder. This allows the violin to be supported by the shoulder and the jaw without using the left hand, and allows the head to stay straight and in line with the body. Don't make the big mistake of thinking that the left hand is supposed to hold the violin up. With a proper shoulder rest on the violin, try holding the violin on the shoulder and keeping your left arm by your side. Get used to just holding the violin with your shoulder and jaw. Once you can hold it comfortably, try walking around the room like that. Best to be in a carpeted room than a hard floor. These shoulder rests come in different sizes to suit your child's violin size, so order one today. You can buy them from most good music shops or online. Here's a website you might like to order it from. Keep the left wrist in a straight line with the forearm and hand. Don't let it flip up along the neck of the violin, as this will pull the fingers backwards and make your child play out of tune. Having a good posture is so important. It prevents backache and neckache. Lots of children like to rest the left elbow in their waist, which pulls the violin downwards and the head and neck forwards. It's what I call the lazy hold. There should be a gap between the elbow and the waist. The violin should be held up and the head held straight. If you can put a mirror in the practice area at home, then your child can see their own posture at a glance. The bow hand must hold the bow loosely, without gripping. You should be able to lift any of your child's fingers off the bow easily, without any tension when the bow is resting on the strings. After all, the weight of the bow is taken by the strings. The hand is simply used for steering the bow in the early stages of learning. Children worry that they'll drop the bow, so they grip it too tightly. The bow wrist needs to be soft and bendy. When your child is at the bottom of the bow, the wrist should be high and above the back of the hand. But at the top of the bow, it will be low and below the back of the hand. If your child is gripping the bow too tightly, then their wrist will be too tight as well. Aim for no tension in the bow hand and wrist. If your child's bow isn't moving in a straight line when pushing and pulling, then you need to address this. It's most likely that there's too much tension, and also that instead of opening and closing the arm from the elbow, your child is moving the arm from the shoulder. Avoid the running arm action and keep the upper arm still. This is only used for crossing strings, which is an up-down movement in the shoulder, not a sideways movement. Try to stay on top of these 5 top tips. I suggest addressing them one by one. You may want to watch this video together several times to remind you both of what to watch out for. I know this will help if you use it. Happy practicing!